Every camp has a theme song that requires you sing along. The more we keep on drinking, the better we'll start singing. If you like to drink, wanna learn to fix your sink,
Seems like a functional thing.
wanna earn some badges and unite with other badges. Let's make a place that we belong. Sing the Camp Our Hoo-Ha song.
We're going to Camp
Hoo-Ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Yeah! Going to Camp Hoo-Ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Yeah! Going to Camp Hoo-Ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Yeah! Going to Camp Hoo-Ha, hoo-ha.
Who are you are?
You want the fun that camp brings,
I do.
but you really fucking hate camping.
I do.
Can make a craft or have a beer.
Craft beer.
You'll learn some useful shit here. That's what I hear anyway. Let's make a place that we belong and join the Camp Our Hoo-Ha song.
We're going to Camp
Hoo-ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Yeah! Going to Camp Hoo-ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Yeah! Going to Camp Hoo-ha, me, ha, what, hoo-ha. Going to Camp Hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Hoo-ha, 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 hoo-ha.
That's
So excited about this one. Are you guys excited? I have to laugh because when I first introduced the subject of nutrition, you guys kind of freaked out. And I understand why now, but I'm going to get to that in a couple of minutes. But I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad you guys at home are tuning in. You probably have some candy and snacks at home you're going to enjoy during this event, just like our campers here tonight. My name is Mel McKay. I am your hi hoo-ha. We have a lot of newbies in the room tonight, which is exciting. How many newbies do we have? Lots of newbies. And I know we have some newbies at home, so I'm going to give you guys the quick and dirty hoo-ha story, which some of our OG campers can tell it better than I can by now. So Camp Hoo-Ha has been around for almost 6 years now. I started camp as a way to kind of reinvent my career. I was working in advertising and marketing back in 2017. And my business kind of hit a real tough spot. Our household was in a kind of tough spot. My husband was working in oil and gas and was potentially going to get laid off. And I think I was going through what a lot of women go through in your early 40s or late 30s or 50s or whatever, where you start to kind of disappear and lose your voice and are not meeting new people and not having any fucking fun, right? So that's me 6 years ago, and decided that even though my professional work wasn't going well and I wasn't feeling super good about myself, I thought, well, this is a good time for me to step up and do something fun. Let's do something fun. If it makes some money, great. If it is creatively fulfilling, amazing. And when I looked around, I thought that a lot of the stuff that we were doing together was either for our kids, was for professional networking, or we were selling shit to each other. And I was like, where is the fun stuff? So I thought, well, I can't find anything like that, so I'm going to create that. And when I was thinking about all this stuff, my daughter was in Brownies at the time, and I picked her up from Brownies, and she had her mitt full of badges as she came running out of her Brownie meeting. And I had this moment of like, why isn't there this for adult women? Where's my skill building club? Where's my new friends? Where's my fun? Where are my people, right? So I started in 2017, and my first call was to your booze counselor, who's in the back of the room. She'll be taking the stage in a few minutes too. So I called Carla, and I said, Carla, I have an idea. And she's like, whatever it is, I'm down. I got the booze, baby. You bring the vision. And so her and I kicked off our first event in 2017. and which quickly turned into more events and summer camps and chapters in other cities, and then a year or two of online events, which we're still happy to be doing. So it's been a wild ride for 6 years, but the whole point of camp is to carve off an hour or two a month for yourself to have fun, connect with campers whether you're physically in the room or you guys are in the online feed, and just kind of let everything else fall by the wayside and learn just a little bit of something new that's going to maybe make you feel empowered or interested in something. We're not going to become masters in every skill, but we're going to learn a little something that we didn't know. So that's the point of camp. And you're going to earn badges. Campers in the room tonight are going home with badges. If you guys are at home, you can find your nutrition badge online. Camp events are free, but you buying your badge is how I pay for Carla and J9's facials and extensions. So please buy your fucking badge. It's how those two stay so beautiful. And you're going to hear from Carla and J9 tonight, but I put together we have a real nutrition expert, registered dietitian, Andrea Clark is going to be doing a presentation, but I wanted to do my own presentation. I've done some research, y'all. And I never know how to approach these things. I'm like, should I tell my story of all my diet stuff? It's real simple. It's like, ate muffins, didn't eat muffins, now have a muffin top. That's my diet history, really. I didn't want to tell my story. I didn't want to try to be inspiring or anything like that. And I was like, I want to make fun of us. That's what I want to do tonight. So I did some research over the last 48 hours, and I found some really groundbreaking information. Hopefully my clicker's going to advance. Let me try on my own, Jen, and see if it's going to work. Oh, there we go. Breaking news, you guys. Oh, come on. Jen, can you advance me? Oh, hang on. You got to go back one. You got to go back one. We love food. Right? Crazy. We love food. And it's so true. And even the other night I noticed I'm trying to watch The Last of Us on TV. And I'm watching it with my husband, and 10 minutes into it, a zombie is chewing on somebody's face. I'm like, pause it for popcorn. That's how we are. We love food. Go to the next one. Memes. Let's show some funny memes. So there's a clown in a manhole saying there's potato down there, and a woman quickly trying to get down to get that potato. Go to the next one. If you feel sad, remember that the world is 4.5 billion years old, and you just happen to exist at the same time as garlic bread, right? We do. Next one. I've always had a love affair with the potato. It just deepened during COVID. I discovered the Costco potatoes in a carton that you could make. Anyways. Next slide, please. So we really, really, really love food. Go to the next one. We love it so much that we love it as much and think about it as much as men think about sex. I believe that. Prove it. Go to the next one. 36% of men think about sex every 30 minutes. Next slide. 25% of women think about food every 30 minutes, right? We're thinking about it all the time. You're not thinking about it right now because you're eating it. So that's why you're taking a break. I think about food all the time like a middle-aged schoolboy thinks about sex, or rather like Oliver Twist thought about food. I wake up thinking about all my breakfast choices and despair when I have no appetite. I plan vacations around restaurants, carry snacks, and have a mental map plotted out of New York with every delicious snack and edible destination highlighted in bold. At any given moment, my brain scan would be some combination of best brownie recipe, that barbecue place in Alabama, that plum I had once, would chicken work with membrillo. Maybe I have time to bake a pie. That's how we fucking think, you guys. Next slide. We love food so much, we try to make it a part of everything we do. I'm going to have to go through these kind of quickly, but I didn't want to leave anybody out. We even try to make food part of our horoscopes. If you're an Aquarius, you're a Pop-Tart. Next slide. Sagittarius, you're a pizza. It's hard to dislike them, literally so iconic. It goes on. Scorpio, whatever the fuck this burger is. Next one, garlic bread. I'm a Pisces. Too pure for this cruel world. That's so true about us. Capricorn, you're a bread bowl. Virgo, you're a banh mi. Next one, Libra, you're avocado toast. So bougie. Next one, Cancer, you're Nutella bread. Leo, you're French toast. Gemini, you're fairy bread. And the next one, Taurus, you're peanut butter and jelly. All right, we can go to the next slide. Food makes us do things we are not proud of. Did you know there's such a thing as a foodie call? Does anybody here know what a foodie call is? Next slide. Foodie calls, go to the next one. A third of women only date men because of the free food. Foodie calls can happen when money's tight, the grocery store is out of a favorite frozen meal, or a must-try entree is just too extravagant to justify. When the tab comes out of your own bank account. Yeah. This is the thing. Next one, a new study published, blah, 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 found that a quarter to a third of heterosexual women have gone on a date with a guy they weren't interested in just for fucking food. Bad feminists, bad. But we are weirdos when it comes to food. Here are some examples. These are things I found of women's confessions. If you go from eating muffins to not eating muffins to only eating the muffin paper, that's creepy. Next one, 10-minute food rule. I don't know, I'd say that's too long, but some people are eating popcorn with just their tongue. We're gonna spot you weirdos tonight. But we don't love all foods equally. Next slide. We don't like our salads, do we? We try to like our salads. I'm gonna wrap up right away. I'm gonna show you this video. There we go. Sorry.
Wow, that's really serious salad. What's in it? There is lots of different stuff. Goat bulgur, mung beans, there's a sprinkle of wheatgrass, there's some kale root, there's 16 different types of seeds. Okay, actually, you know what, never mind. Clearly you're just in a different space right now. I'm in the space where I love my body, and you're doing what you need to do with your fries. So. Well, it looks delicious. I'm sure it will be. I'm just gonna finish this at my desk. Okay, I'm gonna eat this. Later. This is so good. Oh, my body loves me. Gosh, this is just terrible. That's okay, you can do this again. Good to your back. Good to Come on, shake it off. Try again. Just run it up, Tammy. Run it up. Videos in 10 minutes. Oh, no.
bring your booze counselor up here for a quick nutrition wine, some notes on how to drink wine when you're being health conscious, right, Carla? Something like that. And then we got the J9, who's got 2 songs for you guys. She's got 2 songs teed up wherever she is. J9, where are you?
She's around.
Hi, welcome campers. Okay, yes, I get to talk about wine in January.
Yeah.
This is a funny one. It's a bit of a tough one because all of you are doing this dry, not all of you. Some are doing this dry January. And I'm sort of a dry-ish January. Any dry-ish Januaries? Okay, there's some dry-ish. There's a few dries. I know you won't raise your hand out there, but that's okay. So, let's just talk about wine and health. We're gonna explore trying to put them together. So, if you're calorie counting out there, any calorie counters, this is good news. Your red wine. I'm going to talk about red wine mostly tonight. So, red wine and calories are just not a problem. They're not a problem. There are calories in red wine, but we just don't count them. I love that. We do count them, but they come in the form of alcohol. So, I know that sounds a little sketchy. They come in the form of alcohol. But what you need to know is most of those bottles that you are drinking are anywhere from 12 to 15% alcohol. So that is putting you in a 90 to 120 calories per glass. So, poof, that's nothing. It's barely triple digits. But now, remember, this is in a 5-ounce glass. I'm going to come back to that pesky little 5-ounce in a minute. So the other good news that I think you should know is that there are little to no carbs in red wine. Like we're talking 0 to 4 net carbs in this little baby right here, if you had the red wine tonight. So all you keto kids out there, hooray, you get to celebrate in the low carb world. But just naturally it's low carb, but that doesn't get you off the hook. So how do we get carbs in wine? The carbs are coming, if you think about like a lot of sugars, you're gonna look about sugars. So your answer is unfermented sugars. So what's happening is if we're gonna talk about wine, we're gonna talk about the grapes. So we're taking our grapes and we're crushing them, and as you know, the yeasts gobble up all of the carbohydrates in there, and they poop out or spit out the alcohol, the heat, and some carbon dioxide, or your bubbles. So what you're left with is the residual sugar, we'll say. So it's almost minuscule in your dry red wines. Hooray! So unfermented sugar. So some of your sweeter wines, or you port drinkers, or if you like anything sweet, it's going to have a little extra sugar in there. So how do we drink wine and stay healthy? That's kind of the big question. You're going to hear things on all sides of it, all sides of the fence, right? Wine's good for your heart. Wine's good for this. Oh, wine is terrible. It's got alcohol. Over drinking. La 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 la. I'm like, so let's just think about joy. What brings us joy? We'll start with that. But yeah. So if honestly, if we're going down even some roads with like tips and tricks, I'll start on a note with quality. And when we're talking about quality, generally out there, a lot of the commercial wines that are $10 and $12 a bottle are going to have a little extra sugar in them. And it may be added, it might already be in there. And this is because that extra sugar gives the wine a little extra body, a little extra texture, and it also elevates and accentuates the fruit. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. That's what I'm going to say. It's not necessarily a bad thing. And if you want to do pure dry, it's safe to just spend a few extra dollars. And also know this is like, we're talking 0 to 0.5 grams in your glass. So it's not a big deal. Your Coca-Cola is 44 grams, so you know what I'll be choosing. Yeah, okay, so what else can I tell you? If we want to, we're still bringing about health and we're bringing about wine. I think one of the other things is we want to monitor the amount in your glass. So monitor the amount, moderate the number of glasses. So then that brings me back to this pesky little 5-ounce pour. So everything seems to be measured in this perfect 5-ounce pour, which by the way is 5 glasses in your bottle, if you didn't know that. So I remember going to the restaurant, and when you get poured a 5-ounce glass of wine, it looks half empty. Does it not? I am not usually a pessimist, but this is half empty. And so it was frustrating. And then I noticed that they started to come out of, you started to see, would you like a 6-ounce or a 9-ounce? And so I'm like, oh, they're getting smart. Okay, 6-ounce and a 9-ounce. So I thought that I would have a lovely 9-ounce for lunch. That looks like a good glass of wine, a 9-ounce. And then I quickly realized with all of my lunches at half-price bottles, restaurants, that I never have one glass. So I quickly figured out that I was having a 9-ounce and then sneaking in another 6. And so I'm now up to 15 for lunch. So my goals for 2023, which I'm learning, is to have my 9-ounce, but just to sip a little slower. God, it's like, boo, right? You're all chug-a-lugs? Are you like... If we skip the lunch food, you're in bigger trouble. Yeah, you're in bigger trouble. So those are kind of the other tips are kind of like moderate the number, monitor the kind of size that's in there. The other one is, I like to personally throw in a protein-friendly snack. That kind of curbs those cravings that we have after drinking, where we decide it's a good idea to have pizza or a bag of chips. Or if you're Team Hoo Ha, we do late night nachos like a dream, which probably doesn't fit in Andrea's nutrition plan. So, a little protein snack might help with that. And I would think, what is the other one? I don't know if I have one. Anyways, keeping an eye on the quality. Lower alcohol wines will have that kind of less sugar. Watch out for critters. Those are on your labels. Watch out for critter wine. That stuff might hurt you. And so if you care about health, I think that we can have a good balance of, we're allowed to say diet. Do we say diet? We can have a balanced nutrition with a healthy amount of wine. And may the odds be ever in your favor. Oh, do we have a question? What is critter wine? Oh, jeez. You're acting like a new camper. What's going on? Okay, so critter wine we talk about all the time is when you find those labels and those cute little critters that are on the labels, those are the ones you want to avoid. Yeah, so I would like to let you know that a farm animal is safe. If you see goats or if you see chickens or if you see a pig,
Those ones are safe, but those little critters, those scary looking things. So I like to call them critter wines because a lot of people shop by labels and a lot of people remember what they have by labels. So give it a go, give that critter a go, and see how that critter makes you feel the next morning. But hydration is key also. I'm a big wine water girl. But you will definitely, you'll definitely notice that's my tip on quality. Yeah. Okay, and we're getting ready. We're getting ready. J9. I wish I had a beatbox for you. I don't. This is just to make fun of me. I'll just drink instead. Okay, do you use this mic? This one? Does she need to be over where I am on the stage? No?
Can I take yours?
Hi, everybody. Can we all agree that January is the longest month ever? And it feels like we haven't seen each other in 100 years. Two really quick things. One, Mel made a comment about our hair extensions and facials. I'd like y'all to take note of my roots right now. If I turn too quickly, you guys will be blinded by my gray hairs when the light hits them. These are just new to me, so I'm not happy about it. I love that there's so many new people here. I wish I was singing one of my top 10 greatest hits for you, but I'm not. I dug deep for today. Segue. I did not write a new song. I wanted to, but I just couldn't. I didn't have time or inclination. So I went back. I don't know if any of you, yeah, I had fun. I was drinking those 9-ounce glasses of wine. How many of you were at, like, it was one of our first online events. We did the Pantry Raid with Julie Van Rosendale. Were you guys there? Okay. So I don't know if you'll remember, because you've probably repressed all your memories from that moment in time, that I wrote a song kind of just based on like the pandemic and the fact that like people were like panic buying everything. There was nothing at the stores, and like people were like, I don't know how long we're going to be in our house for. Like everything's crazy. So I wrote a song called "Whip Out My Cans," and it was basically, you know, an ode to the canned goods that were making a comeback thanks to the pandemic. So I sort of rewrote a couple lines in that song because pandemic's over, if you ask me. But now there's like this rising inflation and cost of living. So it's still like, hey, where's those canned goods that I had in the basement that I thought I'd never have to eat? So hooray for canned goods. So I kind of I rewrote a couple of lines, and I'm gonna sing you the same song again. It's been a while, so I don't remember the lyrics. If you're new, you think that that's the truth. The truth is actually every time I write a song, I can't remember the lyrics, so I brought an iPad. I don't even remember the tune, so if you remember it, sing along. This is called Whip Out My Cans. A year into this inflation, I'm feeling rather hungry. Check out my fridge and my freezer, but both are completely empty. To the can, it's time to go to the can. To the can, time to whip out my cans. Don't know what is a garbanzo bean or why I bought these sardines, but I will mash them together and eat them on a stack of saltines. Where my single moms at? Woo! 'Cause I can, yes I can. Don't know if I should, but I can. Yes I can, yes I can. It's time to whip out my cans. These zoodles were best before March 3rd, 1984. But I can't afford food at the store, so I'll eat them and be fine, I'm sure. 'Cause I can, yes I can. Don't know if I should, but I can. Yes I can, yes I can. It's time to whip out my cans. I didn't get a raise, so now I'm in a race to use these old cans before their expiry date. 'Cause I can, yes I can. Don't know if I should, but I can. Yes I can, yes I can. It's time to whip out my cans. I'll look in my pantry. What do I see? Packs of ketchup from Mickey D's. Horsey sauce from RB's. Mix them together and make gravy. 'Cause I can, yes I can. Don't know if I should, but I can. Yes I can, yes I can. It's time to whip out my cans. Cream corn, gonna get some zing, 'cause I got some food coloring. Oh, and one other thing. These zoodles inside me are noodling. To the can, it's time to go to the can. To the can, excuse me while I tear up the can. Okay, I got one more. This one isn't about food or nutrition at all, really. But one, I don't think very many of you have ever heard it. Two, I think I remember the lyrics. I don't. I know. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. But I'm not going to do it. But this song, I feel like fits tonight because I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but sometimes I eat a little bit too much. And drink too much. And further to what Carla said, so I caught on a long time ago, I always order the 6 ounce just so I can order 2, because it feels like more if you have 2. Right, so yeah, 6 ounce, you're like, I had 2 glasses of wine, it's amazing. My problem is, as soon as I drink wine, I get hungry. Actually, as soon as I drink anything. If I'm drinking beer, I'm like, I should have hot wings and nachos and pizza. But if I'm drinking wine, I want like cheese or like chips or salty or... And then when I'm done, no matter what I'm eating, when I'm done, I'm like, I should have some chocolate and sour soothers to wash that down with. So it's not good. So anyway, sometimes we eat too much, and then our clothes don't fit. Even our bras. Somehow our backs get that. So I actually originally wrote this song for our skivvies camp, talking about bras. And I don't know if any of you know or have been measured for a bra or actually know how to measure for a bra or know the calculation. Come on.
I'm wearing my body by
Oh, are you? I haven't been yet, but I'm gonna go. I'm not even gonna tell you what I'm wearing. You know what my favorite thing to wear is? Full disclosure, because we're all friends here. At Free People, a store that I don't normally shop at because I have quite large boobs, and if I wear those hippie-looking things, then I also look like I'm 18 months pregnant. So, but they have these like super fitted, tight tank top things that if you're just like around the house and not going anywhere, oh, joyous. Because your 18-year-old son doesn't see your boobs flopping around, but they like are comfortable in. Anyway, so There's your J9 tip for the day. Anyway, this song is called Bra Blah Blahs. You think that it would be see, now I'm singing the other song. Oh yeah. Think that it would be easy to get your bra to fit you properly, but it was not like that at all for me. It was more like the theory of relativity. You take the bus size minus the band size, carry the 3, and somehow you end up with letter D or even A, double D, A, or C. Are these my boobs or batteries? Bra, bra, blah, blah, blah. I got me a case of the bra, blah, blah. You know what's even more crazy? Your bra has its own nationality. Yeah, the country of the bra can't affect that D. Cause if the bra is French, then the D is an E. Did you guys know that? That's true. Bra, bra, blah, blah, blah. I got me a case of the bra, blah, blahs. When you get a little older, they no longer sit between your elbow and your shoulder. God's sense of humor is making me groan, cause my tits are hanging down by my funny bone. I'm gonna need a pick-me-up and not cocaine or a cup of joe. I just need a bra that fits, and a conversion table, and a tape measure, and a pen. Always round up. What's that equation again? You take the bus size minus the band size, carry the 3, and somehow you end up with letter D or even A, double A or C. Are these my boobs or batteries? I wanna burn this bra, cause it's burning me. I must have forgot to carry the 3. And you know what's even more crazy? My boobs are falling down cause of gravity. And just like the Energizer Bunny, they keep going and going and going and going down to my knees. So maybe my boobs need batteries. Bra, bra, blah, blah, blah. I got me a case of the bra, blah, blahs. Bra, bra, blah, blah, blah. Maybe because I bought it at blah, blah.
Thank you, J9. This was a long intro tonight, but we wanted to get all of the team and all the fun stuff going. So without further ado, we've got the real nutrition expert tonight, Andrea Clark from Ignite Nutrition. I have got her presentation loaded up. She's going to tell you a bit about her story. And campers in the live feed, I'm going to kind of watch for questions. And you guys in the room tonight, throw your hands up or yell out questions as we're going. It's a perfect time to tackle some of the stuff that you guys want to know. And we try to keep these presentations, everybody's got kind of specific needs. So when you're thinking of questions, we want to try to tackle questions that are kind of relevant to the whole group. If you have specific questions after, Andrea's going to stick around. And she's got a business card going out in all of your badge bags as well. So Andrea Clark, get up here.
Hello, I'm just testing this. You guys can hear me okay? Yeah, sweet. Okay. Well, I am so excited to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me, Mel. I didn't know that this existed, so this is my first time here, and I can just say this is amazing. And I feel so welcome already, so thank you for giving me that welcoming, warming vibe. Yeah, my name's Andrea. I'm a registered dietitian with Ignite Nutrition. I'm also an intuitive eating counselor and a yoga teacher, so I'm a mixed profession kind of gal. And when I was thinking about coming to talk with you all today, I was reflecting on my own experience with Girl Guides. How many of you actually did like Girl Guides, Sparks, Brownies? Yeah, okay, me too. I made it all the way to Pathfinder, so I was hardcore. And yeah, it was fun. And so, I have this clicker thing. Am I gonna do that?
Just do it, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that should work. So I just wanted to share my story a little bit, specifically around Girl Guides. So one day in Pathfinders, when I was hardcore like that, I walked into the community center and our camp counselor said, the light. To the light. Follow the light. Okay, yeah. So my camp counselor was saying, I think they were called leaders back then, yeah. Leader said, we're working on the health badge. And I was like, cool, okay. And we looked at the rainbow, that was the Canada's food guide, and that was all very exciting. And then the leader said, okay, we're gonna go to the bathroom and weigh ourselves. Yeah. So as a 12-year-old girl, yeah, not good. So not to take a turn in the story here, but I went home crying that day because what 12-year-old girl wants to know their weight, right? And I know that's such a common experience for like adolescent girls. And then it follows us, right? Throughout our teenage years, we're growing and we're awkward, and then we're told that we should be smaller. We're told that we should fit in a mold and not take up too much space. And so for me, that was one experience that led to an eating disorder in my teenage years, which I know, so sad. Not anymore, which is nice, but yay. But so that essentially led me to study nutrition because as an 18-year-old girl, I was obsessed with food and my weight and my body, and I wanted to learn all the things about nutrition so that I could master it, so that I could perfect it. And so I went through school and I learned the things, and then I realized, okay, there's actually no such thing as perfect. And that's where I started to shift and change in my work around helping people with intuitive eating and overcoming the diet mentality, which we'll talk a lot about today. The all or nothing, the on and off the wagon, right? It's like, yeah, you're January, perfect example, right? It's like start January strong. 2 weeks in, we're getting a little shaky, and then it's what the hell, we'll just screw it, right? So that's a little bit about me and why I do what I do and why I'm here today. So I want to know why you're here, like nutrition. What, if anyone wants to, yeah, booze, okay. You're here for the booze, okay, I get it. Is there anything that you're wanting to learn today? Like, we might not cover it, but throughout our conversation today, I'm happy to take questions throughout. But anyone like super interested in something in particular? Yeah?
Totally intuitive eating, what it is, how to do it, all about it.
Yes! Okay, intuitive eating for the win. Yeah, I think it's the way to go. I'm very biased.
I would like to talk about air fryers.
Air fryers, okay.
Amazing if anybody's interested though. We can talk after.
Okay, I'm not your girl. I don't own an air fryer. I hear they're amazing. Probably all of you own one. But I also heard it's like a big toaster oven or like an easy bake oven. You know those things that you used to have? Is it like an easy bake? Convection oven. Okay. So maybe I'll get one after. You guys can tell me after how amazing they are. Okay, so intuitive eating. You are in the right spot. So I'm so stoked you are here. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about what is good nutrition actually. What does the media say it is? What does diet culture say it is? And what is it actually? And then we'll talk about my top 3 tips because I think 3 is my favorite number. So that's why I picked 3. And I really picked those things from what I see in my practice being the biggest mistakes that women make, especially over 30, okay? So 30, 40, 50, 60, that age bracket. Next, yeah. So, what do you think good nutrition is? I'm curious. What do you guys think good nutrition is? Balance, yeah. Yeah, 80-20, that whole thing. Less processed food, yeah, absolutely. Like whole food, real food, for sure. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah.
I definitely feel like as of late, it seems like less meat, like that push for
Yeah.
less meat, like we've been eating too much meat this whole time.
For sure, yeah. So more plant-based proteins and beans and tofu and yeah, absolutely. That can be good, depending on the person, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, amazing. Next, please. Okay, so what does the media say good nutrition is? Sorry? It changes every week, yeah, absolutely. So on the next slide, it tells us a little bit about, okay, meat causes cancer, oh my gosh. Like when we eat meat, oh my gosh, I'm giving myself cancer. Kale's bad for us. I thought it was the healthiest food on the planet. Like, we're going from one extreme to the other. Eggs, another example. 1 minute they're killing you, 1 minute they're saving you. Coffee, it's always up for debate whether it's, the miracle food or the cancer-causing food. Here's why vegans have one of the most unhealthy diets, right? So cancer's killing you, vegan diets are killing you. I don't know what to eat anymore, right? And we see these little snippets of information on our iPhones, right? On Facebook, on Instagram, in everywhere, right? And it's just these simple black and white things that we latch onto, and it makes sense, right? Because our brains like simplicity. Our brains love black and white, all or nothing. Tell me it's good, tell me it's bad, right? We can absorb that information. If I'm like, well, it depends, right? And that's a little bit more nuanced. That's a little bit more energy for our brains to wrap our heads around. So, in 2018, on the next slide, there was a study that looked at the 100 most popular nutrition articles on Facebook. And what it found was that 75% of those articles were uncredible, unscientific, and potentially harmful. 75% of those articles.
Except the one about women thinking about food every day.
Yes, that one is completely true.
It's true. I checked
Very scientific. Yeah. So. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. 80 or 90% more likely. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. So that goes to show, right, that we need to be critical consumers of information, especially as it relates to nutrition, because believe it or not, these nutrition messages, we absorb them and then it translates into behavior. And we start to avoid certain foods because we read this article, right? If your friend's like, oh, plant-based diet, I'm gonna try that out. And then you're like, no, I heard it was the most unhealthy thing ever. Like, it can be really confusing and really overwhelming. So, one thing you can ask yourself is, like, the gut check is like, how is this feeling? Is it a little bit scary? Like, is it trying to scare me? And if that is the case, if you're feeling fearful around food, around that particular food, it's probably not true, okay? So if they're saying celery is gonna kill you or kale is gonna kill you, it's probably not true, because the way that nutrition research works, it's kind of like a river, okay? And so if we do one research study, and that's like a rock in the river, okay? If we throw one rock in the river's still gonna flow. if we throw like a ton of rocks over time, eventually the river's gonna divert, right? And so research flows in like that river, and we would need all of those nutrition like articles. Oh no, it's okay. I'll just keep talking. So basically, nutrition research is very hard, okay? So we cannot put all of you in a cage and say, like, we're gonna feed you this and see what happens. We could, and that would be really unethical, right? Like, that's probably not a good thing. So it takes a really long time for nutrition guidelines and nutrition recommendations to change. And that can be a good and a bad thing, right? Because science is limited, and that's just the truth of it. I'm forgetting what my next slide is. I actually used to tap dance. I was thinking about taking adult tap dance lessons again, but
I have a question from the
yeah, let's take a question.
Somebody's asking about macros right away.
Whoa!
Like garbage junk science, or is that like
Macros. Yeah, let's talk about macros. So who's heard this buzz term, macros? Counting your macros, right? So macros, currently counting. Okay, good luck. Yeah. So macros are short for macronutrients, okay? We have 3, arguably 4, not to confuse you. So we have carbohydrates, we have protein, and we have fats, okay? This is like nutrition 101. The arguably 4th macronutrient is alcohol. Yeah. Sugar is a carbohydrate. Yeah, it goes into that category. So when you're counting your macros, or if you want to know about macros, not to get too sciencey here, but carbohydrates and protein have 4 calories per gram. Okay, this is important information if you're counting your macros or if you're understanding your macros. Carbohydrates, protein, 4 calories per gram. Fats have 9 calories per gram, so they're energetically dense. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Fats, like when you have cheese, you know, like wine and cheese is satisfying, right?
oh, so sad.
So satisfying. And have you ever had like, do you remember the low-fat craze of was it the 90s? Like, yeah. And you were always hungry and like never satisfied? That's because there was no fat, okay? So fats are good. We need fats. We need fats for our hormones. We need fats for neurotransmitters in our body. We need fats to function properly. So don't be scared of the 9 calories per gram. That's just the fact. Alcohol. I don't know if you want to know this one. Okay. Yeah. Moment of truth. Alcohol is 7 calories per gram. Okay? Yeah. Less than fat. Yeah, less than fat. More than carbs and protein. So somewhere in the middle. So when you're thinking about macros, that's kind of how you know calories and the macronutrient distribution of your diet. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you much more about macros. Is that enough?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, spotting the fraud, like in terms of nutrition misinformation, I just want you, again, to be critical consumers out there. So if it is promising you a quick fix, if it's like, drop 40 pounds in 40 days, yeah, no, like it's probably a gimmick. If it's like, burn fat fast with this one supplement, probably a gimmick, okay? Does it make dramatic statements? Does it list foods as good and bad? So anyways, that was just kind of part of knowing and being critical consumers of nutrition information out there. This is when we went blank and I remembered this slide. So doing that gut check, if it scares you, it is probably not true. So what is good nutrition? And The next slide is my absolute favorite, and it depends. Sign nutrition. This is really why I work one-on-one with a lot of people, is because your nutrition needs are different from someone else's. My nutrition needs are different than yours. And that is just the fact of life. Because good nutrition encompasses so many different things. It encompasses our appetite, it encompasses health conditions, our socioeconomic status, how much money we have, how much access to food we have. It impacts, or it is based on our culture, right? If you grew up eating a certain food, that's actually really healthy for you to eat, right? Instead of some nutritionist telling you to eat kale. That's not necessarily going to be healthy if it's not part of your culture, right? Your knowledge, your beliefs, your psychological beliefs around food, guilt, shame, these all impact what good nutrition is encompassing. So to say it depends is really the truth of the matter. But we're gonna get more into that, because that answer, I know that's really unsatisfying to hear. Like, sweet. Okay, it depends. Okay. So yeah, I talked about a little bit of these. So your individual needs, personal preferences, like maybe you don't like kale, and that's totally cool. You don't have to eat kale. Where you live. So in some places in the world, there's things called food deserts. And food deserts are where people don't have access to food, they have access to a convenience store. Yeah, and they have chips and pop and granola bars maybe, and that's the reality for some people. If you're really rural, right, and you might not have access to some of those things, or some of the foods in the grocery store. And then your cooking skills too, right? Your ability to throw together a meal, use those canned goods, turn it into something appetizing. Sardines on saltines, I love that. Yeah, so a little bit more into diet culture. Have you guys heard of this term, diet culture? Are you guys aware of diet culture? Okay, we're gonna get into diet culture here. So diet culture is a system of beliefs that worships thinness, and it ties food to our morality, which is really not a nice thing, right? Because all of a sudden, we are saying in order to be good, in order for you to be a good human, you have to eat this particular way. And in order for you to eat this particular way, it also needs to mean that you are pursuing the thin ideal, which is just not the reality for most people. It then makes us feel that we are wrong if our bodies don't measure up. And it marginalizes, or it oppresses marginalized groups. So people who don't look like Jennifer Aniston, right? Like, that is diet culture for you. Okay, so it labels foods as good and bad. It ties moral virtue. Yeah, okay. I'm ahead of my slides. Look at me. So diet culture shows up in our language, in how we interact with our peers, how we interact with our friends, how we talk about food. So an example is, I can't believe you're eating that. Don't you know it's not good for you? Maybe we've said that. I've said that, right? And that's okay if you've said that too, because we're here to learn some stuff, right? In the next slide, it says, yeah, I never eat, insert like McDonald's, right? I never eat McDonald's. Oh my gosh, don't you know that's a dirty food? Because I only eat clean. So it's okay if this is part of your language right now, but it is part of diet culture. So think about that forbidden food for you. Do you have a forbidden food? Yeah. I'm curious, what are your forbidden foods? Nobody wants to tell me. What's that? Hamburgers, yeah, especially from McDonald's, right? Yeah. Oh, A&W burgers, far superior. Hot take. Okay, so hamburgers, yeah. Fried foods, cookies, sugar, sourdough so good. Yeah. Okay. So we'll get into that a little bit more. Next, please. Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what normal eating is, and you might be like, okay, normal eating. What does that even mean? So in my mind, normal eating is healthy eating, and my hope for you is that you can find normal eating. And normal eating is, it's going to the table hungry and leaving full. It is wishing you had a little bit more of something, or not eating enough and then wishing you had more. So normal eating is having the cookie because you want it. It's also choosing a salad because you just want something fresh. So normal eating can be eating 3 meals a day, or 4, or 5, or deciding to graze along the way. Normal eating can be eating because you want to comfort yourself because you had a really hard day. And normal eating can be eating because you're not necessarily hungry, but you're socializing, or you're at a celebration or a funeral, or you're at Camp Hoo-Ha and you're having popcorn because it's fun. So normal eating is flexible, okay? It's not rigid, it's not chaotic. It's flexible and fluid that allows you to live your life, okay? So how does that sit with you guys? Normal eating, yeah? It's like, we're normal, we don't have to diet, we don't have to be too strict on ourselves, because that can lead to a lot of guilt and shame, right? And my personal philosophy,
So how
you have
do
questions?
Transition from thinking where there is like shame or structure to how do you like coach people on transitioning to the flexible mindset, I guess?
Totally, yeah, great question. So we would first identify what foods are good, that you're labeling as good, and what foods are you labeling as bad? And how do you interact with those foods? Do you feel like, that's the salad video? Are you punishing yourself with salad even though you hate it, right? Are you gritting through a restrictive, clean eating diet and hating every second of it? And how are you interacting with those bad foods? Are you binge eating them in secret? Are you restricting them and then finally saying, screw it, and I'm gonna eat all of those foods? So if it's all or nothing, I encourage people to start to find neutrality with food. So food is not morally or emotionally good or bad, it is equivalent. Because what diet culture tells us is that good foods have protein, fiber, micronutrients, and those are good, and you should only ever eat those foods, right? You need to be perfect. And if you're not perfect, then you're bad, bad human. And so can we view those foods as morally and emotionally equivalent, knowing that those bad foods, let's say cupcakes, candy, chocolate, chips, whatever, are going to be a part of your life? They are not going anywhere, I promise you that. and they're in our lives for a reason, right? There's a reason that we're not eating celery sticks tonight. Not fun, right? It's way too expensive, yeah. That celery juice trend just skyrocketed prices, yeah. So there's a reason that we eat those quote unquote bad foods, right? Because they add pleasure to our lives. And you deserve to experience pleasure. They add joy, they add fun, they add connection, right? We are in this room eating popcorn and candy together. And maybe you're by yourself on the couch and also eating popcorn at home. And so we need those things because, yeah, they're gonna be a part of our lives, right? They're not going anywhere. And so if we can start to allow those foods with those quote unquote good foods, then we can start to experience a lot more peace and ease and fluidity and flexibility. So for example, yeah, if you're having a snack, add some protein for sure. Carla, where are you? She's gone. Okay. Add the protein, absolutely. So let's think about peanut butter, if you like it or if you're not allergic to it. So peanut butter with an apple, that's a nice snack, right? But maybe we add in some chocolate chips. How would that sound? That sounds great, right? Yeah, amazing. So see how we're adding in those bad foods? Because they're not bad, right? If we can allow small amounts throughout our day and throughout our lives and throughout our week, we're not gonna binge on them. And our body can handle those foods in small quantities. Did that answer the question? Okay. So, yeah, and so my number one tip is ditch the diet mentality. That's the good or bad, that's the all or nothing mentality. So we've already talked about this. Allow for flexibility. Know that there is not one single food that is dramatically going to change your weight in either direction. There just isn't, right? It's one food is not going to do it. It is an overall dietary approach that is going to change weight in any direction, okay? And then, yeah, that permission to eat those foods. So give yourself permission to experience pleasure through food. Easier said than done. What's that? Cheat day, yeah. But can we call it just not cheat day? Because cheat day implies it's bad, right? What if it's just every day? Every day. And I know that sounds wild. Woo, chocolate every day? This nutritionist is off the hook. But what if you had one square of chocolate every day and you didn't need a cheat day? You didn't need to snap and then break and eat it all. So the next slide is, the binge restrict cycle. In my work with women, this cycle is oh my gosh, this is my life. This is resonating so deeply. And so it might resonate with you. It might not, and that's okay. So the binge restrict, or the restrict binge cycle, all starts with restriction of those bad foods, okay? So you're gonna start off Monday or January 1st, I am not eating sugar, or I am not eating chocolate because I need to lose weight, for an example. So you don't eat that and you feel deprived. Okay, you feel deprived, you're thinking about it a lot, you're like, oh my gosh, January's a really long month. And then you have a really bad day at work. You're stressed, your kids are bad and asking a lot of questions. And you snap and you have the chocolate or the sweet of some sort. Often, a lot of my clients say that they eat food in secret, or they might eat it quite quickly, or they might say, screw it, I've already had the chocolate, I'm just gonna finish it so that it's gone. I'm just gonna get rid of it so I don't have to look at it anymore. And then that is where the guilt and the shame set in, right? Oh my gosh, I'm such a failure. Why can't I do this? Why can't I just not eat chocolate for a week? What is wrong with me? And then we feel awful about ourselves. Our self-worth is low, and then we vow to do it again next week, right? We vow to restrict that food on Monday or restrict that food on January 1st or the first of the month. And then the cycle repeats itself. And so how do we get out of this cycle? You don't restrict, okay? You don't restrict. You allow. You find that balance. Who said balance at the beginning? So wise. So wise. It's like you knew. You knew. Okay. Yes, thank you. So tip number 2, this is the only part of our presentation that I'm going to actually tell you what to eat. You can notice that I haven't really told you what to eat yet because that's not my job to you. But for women over 30, particularly perimenopause, 40s, 50s, 60s, yeah. This age group needs particular nutrients, okay? So these 3 foods are very important for your health for particular reasons. So omega-3 rich foods, have you guys heard of omega-3s? Yes, woo, yes, for omegas. Yeah, so fish, woo, love me some fatty fish. So the reason being is that when estrogen starts to decrease, okay? So when it's like, and we get all of those awful symptoms, our risk for heart disease starts to go up. It's just the fact of estrogen decreasing. And so in order to prevent our risk of heart disease, you want to eat more omega-3 fatty acids. So fatty fish, flax seeds, walnuts. Now, how do you do it? How do I like to do it? I like to have a tuna sandwich every once in a while. Yeah, question. Yeah.
So is canned fish just as good
Yes.
as
Yeah. Yeah, canned. We're in the canned food era. Embrace it. Yeah, like, no, oh my gosh, $50 a salmon? Maybe, yeah, maybe. Yes, please, canned tuna, canned salmon, embrace it, absolutely. Add the mayo. Yeah, yeah, or Greek yogurt if you like that. That can be cool too, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, question. The gray stuff. Yeah, you can eat it. Yeah, you can eat the fat. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So, yeah, question. If you hate fish. Yeah, if you hate fish, take a supplement. My favorite supplement is called Nutri-C. It's in the bottles. You can do the liquid or they have capsules. That's the best brand, in my opinion. They don't pay me to say that. I just think that's the one I take.
Somebody's asking if phytoestrogens are bad.
Are phytoestrogens bad? Yeah, so spidey sense, gut check. Do they cause cancer? No, they don't. Was that your question?
So I was gonna like be super facetious here. This is the first time I've ever attended any event like this.
Yeah.
I have a real big thing with all of this that we're talking about. First step, absolutely. Salmon, trout, tuna, amazing. Phytoestrogens, if you have background in medical history where your family's had breast cancer,
Yes.
something like that, soy, no way. Like it's done. Like, a medical doctor will tell you no. Tofu, edamame, all soy. You have to, like, so my biggest takeaway from this, or that I would like to share, I have no medical background, but I have medical history, and I've been researching this my entire life, because I have several hormone issues and whatnot. It's an individual thing. You. Like, it's so individual. So this may not apply to you. Maybe you like steak, maybe you like eggs, maybe you don't like any of that. But you have to be so aware of yourself and your medical, like, history, your family, your body. Being self-aware is the biggest step. Oh, I ate eggs today. Oh, I'm super itchy right now. What's happening? Or, oh, I had soy milk and I had tofu also today. Oh, I'm feeling terrible. I feel nauseous. Being self-aware is the biggest step and aspect, and then apply these things. So the third one, dairy products. I have a dairy allergy. This is not a bite. Like, it's not. I would like to eat all the milk and cheese. I love cheese, but I can't. So, you know, you have to be individual.
I think she said that earlier, was like the point is to sort of be as gentle
All
as
be so individual.
Yeah.
Everything. I'm not trying to be like anti anything. I'm just saying these things that we're reading, it's actually quite good. But you, her, me, we're also individual.
Totally.
You know how you react. Go through a process of eating certain things for a certain amount of time, like going through a natural path. Figure out what works for you. All the things work for everybody. No doubt. I have a firm believer that these work for everybody. Beyond it, that's just how I go. Tofu, so not so much the way I go. But
Okay.
Yeah, so nutrition is absolutely individual. Absolutely. And I think, yeah, self-awareness and doing what is best for you is always number one. And that is why good nutrition is individual and encompasses so many different factors. And we also have research that supports phytoestrogens in reducing symptoms of menopause. And the evidence is pretty good. And if soy doesn't work for you, that's okay. You might try flaxseed instead. That could work. If dairy products don't work for you, that's okay. You might be doing fortified dairy-free alternatives, and you can still get the same nutrition. So absolutely, these recommendations aren't going to be for everyone, but for some people, they might be, for sure. And maybe from this presentation, you take one thing that you can set a goal around. So yeah, if you want to embrace phytoestrogens by including plant-based proteins in the form of edamame and tofu and soy milk, absolutely, especially if you're in a time where you are experiencing hot flashes. There's good evidence to suggest that it can help reduce symptoms there, among other things. Calcium and vitamin D are also, I know that's two, but those are really important nutrients to be considering when we're starting to shift hormones there. So those things are going to support your bone health, of course, with physical activity as well. So things like dairy products or fortified alternatives, eggs are a great source of vitamin D, fish if you like it, leafy greens, excellent. Yeah.
Are beans considered part of any of these? Yeah.
Beans, are they phytoestrogens?
No, are they included, like, not if they're in like that maple syrup sauce you like?
Okay, yeah. Beans, if you tolerate them, are great.
We had an overnight event at Hotel Arts during COVID, and the dinner was a bean cassoulet, and then we had a dance party.
Everyone was farting. Yep. Beans, the magical fruit. Yeah, that'll happen for sure. Okay, yeah, so you might be thinking about, okay, maybe I do want to add in some tofu, or maybe I do want to add in, yeah, tofu can be great. Yeah, especially, like, we're talking food budgets here. Great source of cheap plant-based protein that is actually really nutritious if you tolerate it. Yeah. 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 So a lot of foods are processed. Almond milk is processed. Soy milk is processed. Processed foods aren't necessarily bad, okay? Protein powder, if you're doing a vegan protein powder, that's gonna be processed. So processing doesn't necessarily mean it's bad for your health. Ultra processing, where you don't recognize what it is anymore, might be, yeah, tofu, yeah, chicken McNuggets, yeah. Yeah, so again, there's not one bad food, right? We can't demonize one food as the worst thing ever. So if you like tofu, have it. I would say a better example of that would be like Beyond Meat, right? So Beyond Meat, for sure, it's beyond recognizable, for sure. It's more processed, definitely more processed than tofu. Tofu and tempeh, like tempeh is fermented soybeans, and you can see the soybeans in there. Tofu, you're blending it up and then sitting in calcium, and that's tofu. So, yeah, if you like it, have it. When it comes to making small changes in your diet, I like to use SMART goals. Have you guys heard of SMART goals? Yeah, Duh. Yeah. No. Oh no. Oh, you actually don't know what SMART goals are. Okay. Sorry for assuming. Okay. So SMART, it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So to say I'm going to eat better in January is not a SMART goal. To say I am going to make breakfast 5 days a week for the month of January is a SMART goal. And to say why you're going to do that and how you're going to do that is taking it a step further. So I'm going to make breakfast by making overnight oats the night before, soaking it, and then grabbing and going 5 days a week. And maybe I'm going to do that on Sunday and Wednesday so I can do a few at a time. Does that sound doable? Sounds very smart, yes. Yes. It's very specific. It's measurable. It's 5 days a week. It's pretty achievable, I would hope. Like, it's just starting with breakfast. We're not thinking overhaul. Is it achievable? Yeah. Realistic, hopefully. Timely for the month of January. Yeah, okay. Sorry? Quick Oats. Yeah, I use Quick Oats in those overnight oats. No, do not soak steel cut oats. Your guts will not thank you. Yeah. Don't do the steel cut. You need to cook the steel cut. But the quick, you can soak. For sure. You don't need to cook them. Also know your why. Like, why are you wanting to make this change? When it comes to breakfast, maybe you're like, I actually feel way more energy when I have breakfast, and then I don't hit that crash, and then feel awful, and then eat a lot for dinner, and then snack all night. So breakfast might work for you, might not work for you. I like breakfast. It might be good for you. It might not be good for you, but you'll have to decide that. I think breakfast is a great opportunity to get a lot of nutrient-rich foods into your diet. That doesn't mean it has to be at 8 a.m. That could be at 10. Yeah.
Somebody's gonna go to bed.
It's bedtime.
What are their opinions on like everyone wanting to do intermittent fasting?
Intermittent fasting. Yeah, great question. That's a hot topic right now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go back to that slide. It depends. Yeah, it totally depends. Yeah, so in my personal experience with people, there seems to be men do a little bit better with intermittent fasting versus women. But that isn't to say it's not going to work for women. In my experience, it can be socially confining. So like if you're like, I need to stop eating at 6, and then you come to Camp Hoo-Ha and you're having popcorn at 7, then all of a sudden you're breaking a rule, right? And you might be like, am I still intermittent fasting? I'll start again tomorrow, right? So it can be a little bit confining. So I would say it's a little sensationalized, to be honest. I think it's kind of glorifying the skipping breakfast thing and giving us a reason to call it intermittent fasting. But yeah, it's a new way of skipping breakfast and saying, but there's research.
I adjust my window to accommodate social events, so it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
It helps me control my overall calories for the
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So if it works for you, do it. Yeah. If you feel good, if it works for you, do it. If you find that you're feeling guilty and you're feeling like you can't get this time window on, then don't do it. Right? It's not going to be for everyone. Everything is not going to be for everyone. Exactly. Yeah.
What about the old saying, eat breakfast like a king, lunch
Yeah.
like a prince, and supper like a pauper? Is there any truth to that, or is that just kind of like a poor person?
Yeah.
Oh,
that-
poor person.
Yeah. Like a pauper, right? Yeah. Yeah. So the question was, should you eat breakfast like a king? What's lunch like a prince? Dinner like a pauper? There's actually some truth to that. The reason being is that our metabolism is moving and working faster earlier in the day. You're likely also maybe working earlier in the day. You're doing things earlier in the day. I don't know many people who are like, whoa, I'm going to ramp up at 8 p.m. and like go do all the things I need to do in a day. right? So when we're like having dinner, we're actually preparing for sleep. Most of us, unless you're a shift worker or something like that. So there is truth in like having food earlier in the day and then like reducing the amount of food later in the day, for sure, for our metabolism. Yeah. Yeah, great question.
Are there any supplements that you recommend to people outside of just food, other than like, obviously if there's certain things they're not eating? But are there things that when somebody comes to you and they're looking for just energy in general, nutritional health, that you would just recommend kind of carte blanche, especially for our group, that's like a great thing to just throw into the mix on top of?
Great question. I generally don't make blanket recommendations, but vitamin D is one that I think is a widely agreed upon and also a really safe supplement to be taking. Vitamin D is going to support your bone health, your immune health. Most Canadians are not getting enough vitamin D. Also, we live in like the darkness half of the year. So you're not outside a lot, right? You're not getting a ton of sunlight. So vitamin D is a great thing to be adding in, for sure. I'm not against multivitamins. They can definitely play a role if you're like, I don't think my nutrition's top notch lately. Not a problem. Take a multivitamin. Yeah. Green supplements, green strengths. Yeah. So it's funny. I actually have a story about this. I was listening to this podcast and they're marketing athletic greens, right? Have you guys heard of athletic greens? Yeah. AG1. Sounds so. Yeah. And for a moment I was like, oh my gosh, I think I need athletic greens. Like, I think that they really got me. Yeah, and so my roommate, she does athletic greens, and she's like, do you want some green juice? And I was like, oh, green juice, I love green juice. And then I tried it, and I was like, oh, that's not green juice. That's like, that's not a juice, that's a powder. So anyways, it's not a problem to be taking, absolutely, if you want a greens powder. I'm a food first kind of dietitian, and that's cool if you can get greens through your diet. Some people can't, some people don't want to. I think also we need to factor in cost, right? If you are struggling with food, like your food budget as it is, cut the greens, okay? I would rather you spend, I don't know how much it is a month. Probably $60, okay. I would rather you spend $60 on real food at the grocery store than the green supplement, okay? If that's a thing that you're debating. Like, do I buy groceries or do I buy greens? Buy the groceries, for sure. And that's just because we know that there's compounds in the food that we're eating, like fiber, like phytoestrogens, like polyphenols, all of those antioxidants that we know are really good for our health. Great question. Okay, next slide. I'm over this slide. Okay, so I think everyone struggles with vegetables. Who struggles with vegetables? Eating enough vegetables. Oh, yes, okay, the air fryer. Okay, I should have added that to the slide. Just buy yourself an air fryer. Yes. So a few ways is to, when you get home from the grocery store, if you have intentions to eat raw vegetables, but you need to chop them up, do it right away. Like, when you get home, put the groceries away, and, before you put them away, chop them up, put them in containers that you can see, and then we're good to go, right? Or if you have that disposable income, maybe you buy pre-chopped vegetables. It is more expensive, but it's less time. So convenience is our friend when it comes to vegetables, absolutely. Double the recipes in vegetables. So if you're making a soup, throw whatever you got in there. If you're making a casserole, throw it in. If you're making eggs, throw it in. So double, it's not gonna hurt. Use frozen. Frozen is our friend when it comes to fruits and vegetables. They are just as nutritious as fresh, especially this time of year. Also, yeah, spinach, yeah, for sure. If you buy fruits and vegetables fresh and you're like, they're starting to go bad, put them in the freezer. They will be fine. You can use them, put them in a soup or something like that. Where are we at for time? Are we, okay, we're 8:30. Okay, we got like a little bit more, just a little bit. And then, yeah, keep it simple. So throw it in your smoothie. Like, those are great ways to add more vegetables. Broccoli, broccoli smoothie, yeah. So how do we support our hormones through nutrition? One thing is to not skip meals, and that can be like with the intermittent fasting thing, right? Where are we skipping meals? Are we eating enough? If you're not eating enough, you are doing a disservice to your hormones, specifically cortisol. Have you guys heard of cortisol before? Yeah. So cortisol is our stress hormone, right? And if we're not eating enough, we are stressing out our body. Okay? If we are not eating enough, we are stressing out our body and we are increasing cortisol. So if you're chronically under eating, your hormones will not be on your side. Okay, you'll be struggling there. Focus on balanced meals. So instead of just a piece of toast, have a piece of toast with eggs and some avocado. That would be a really beautiful balanced meal. If you eat those foods, right? Or what? Sauerkraut? No, I said I'm a Libra, so avocado. Oh, yeah, okay, where was the Aries on there? I'm an Aries. Anyone else feeling excluded with the Aries? Yeah, Carla? What are we? We can be I don't know.
I'm gonna look right now.
We're tuna sandwiches. Okay, this is an unpopular one.
Cheese sandwich.
Cheese sandwich, okay. Grilled cheese? Grilled cheese? We can make grilled cheese.
Popular but doesn't know it.
Okay, reduce alcohol. That is just, I know it's an unpopular one in here, I know, but for our hormones, right, Carla, just watch the amount and yeah, just listen to Carla. Moderation, yeah. Stress management, so again, cortisol, if we're chronically stressed out, our cortisol is gonna be high, hormones not happy. And then joyful movement. So joyful movement is like dance classes and go to like Zumba and swim. Yeah, love Zumba, so fun. Go to yoga. Come see me at Yoga Santosha if you want. Yep, sure, yeah. We can go with it. Yeah. Okay, next. Okay, my last tip is to respect your changing body. Because the fact of life is that, yeah, respect your body. Is there a song like that? I don't know, but anyways. Respect your changing body because the fact of life is that your body is forever changing. From birth to death, your body will continue to change. And the more that we cling to its current shape and size, the more that we will suffer as we age. Is that truth or not? Yeah? Yeah, that's a truth bomb. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so how can we respect our bodies just as they are? So number one is to practice gratitude. And there's actually really good research to support what's known as body appreciation. So body appreciation is not like, oh, I love my, I don't know, whatever, how I look today. It is like, yes, I just like carried all those groceries and I'm so grateful. In one trip, yeah, like 5 bags of groceries, one trip, yes, I am so strong. So appreciating your feet for like taking you all around, appreciating your legs, appreciating your behind for sitting on those hard wooden benches for like 2 hours. Yeah, thank you, booty. So a little bit of appreciation goes a really long way, okay? Self-care in like the most unglamorous thing. Get enough sleep and those really unglamorous things, okay? Ditch the scale. My challenge to each of you is to throw out the scale. No? No, I know, it's really scary. Yeah, it's really scary. So anyways, the scale can really turn your mood, right? And it can make you be like, oh, this body, right? And really at war with your body. So I want you to know that you are more than your body and you are more than that number on the scale. Okay? Yeah, you are. And it's, the scale doesn't matter, right? The number doesn't matter. It is your literal gravitational pull on this earth. That's it. Yeah. Okay? Yeah, so wear comfortable clothing, okay? Wearing comfortable clothing is such a low-key way to respect your body and to improve your body image. Has anyone worn like too tight of underwear before? Bra? Yeah, oof, the worst. Jeans, the worst. So when we wear clothes that are too tight, we are constantly reminded that our body is too big, right? What if you bought clothes that just fit your here and now body and you were a little bit more comfortable there? Yeah? Simple solution. I know it's not that simple, but joyful movement. So doing things that you enjoy. Don't do burpees if you don't like them, okay? Thank you! Stop comparing your body, okay? We all have different genetics. Our bodies are based on 75% genetics, okay? Body weight, shape, and size, 75% genetics, okay? So, and we're all different. We're like dogs, okay? Some of us are, I don't know my dog types, but like golden retrievers and poodles, bull terriers. Yeah.
I have a question though.
Yes.
Because I tend to be somebody who sometimes is like, oh, I'm just gonna like eat what I love, do what, I like to live in the sort of pleasure zone.
Yeah.
So how do you still balance,
Yeah.
giving yourself the stuff it needs?
Totally.
Because I get that all foods are good, there's no bad foods and stuff, but how do I still get in a place where I'm like, I also know that when my body is asking for things, how do I make sure I'm giving it that too?
Totally.
It can't be fucking...
It can't be a free-for-all because you're not going to feel good.
It can't be now 9 ounces all day long.
For sure. Yeah. So that is something where I think setting small goals around, okay, what meal do I need to focus on the most? What is the one meal that I am struggling with? Is it breakfast? Is it lunch? Is it dinner? Meal planning is we could do a whole other series on meal planning if you... What? I love talking about meal planning. Anyway, so meal planning, like planning out your meals and purposely including vegetables and proteins and high fiber foods in there can help to have a plan, and it doesn't have to be rigid, right? But it's going to set that intention that you are saying, okay, this is what I'm making for the week. And it gives you a little bit more structure, because I hear you. Sometimes we can go a little further on this side where it's like, woo, I'm just having fun. But sometimes we do need a little bit more structure, and it's all about finding that balance and finding that flow. Yeah, great question. And then, that's respecting your body, okay? And then I think that's the end. Yeah, so just some takeaways. If you are feeling like, oh, this is like some stuff that I need to work on, we are at Ignite Nutrition. My name's Andrea. We do one-on-one personalized nutrition counseling. We specialize in digestive health disorders, food relationship eating disorders, and women's health. So if you have health benefits for a registered dietitian, come see us. And I'll be here for some questions. So thanks.
All right. Thank you, campers. Thank you, Andrea. If you guys here tonight have more questions, Andrea's going to stick around. Our bench guy's going to be here at 9 to haul the benches away. So as long as you guys are off the benches by then. Thank you, guys. Thank you, campers. Thank you, Team Hoo-Ha. Carla, J9, Diana, Sarah, Kim, Jen, Laura. Tonight, we had a really fun craft tonight. Delicious popcorn. So thank you, campers at home. If you haven't bought your badge, you can go online and buy your badge. And thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Andrea. That was fantastic.
Thanks for having me.
And also, campers in the room, we've got another event, February 16th, right back here. We're doing some fire safety. Yes, we're gonna learn a little bit of first aid, some stuff about being the first person on the scene of an accident, which I am not good at. Yeah, true. So we have an event February 16th. Thank you, Rob, tonight too. Rob is our producer. He has been streaming our event, so thank you, Rob. And we'll see you guys next month. And yeah, get your badge on your way out. Good night, campers. We will see you soon.
Every camp has a theme song that requires you sing along. The more we keep on drinking, the better we'll start singing. If you like to drink, wanna learn to fix your sink,
Seems like a functional thing.
wanna earn some badges, and unite with other badges. Let's make a place that we belong. Sing the campfire hoo-ha song. We're gonna camp hoo-ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Yeah! Gonna camp hoo-ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Yeah! We're gonna camp hoo-ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Yeah! Gonna camp hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Hoo-ha, you are! You want the fun that camp brings.
I do.
But you really fucking hate camping.
I do.
Can make a craft or have a beer.
Craft beer.
You'll learn some useful shit here. That's what I hear anyway. Let's make a place that we belong and join the campfire hoo-ha song. We're gonna camp hoo-ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Yeah! Gonna camp hoo-ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Yeah! Gonna camp hoo-ha, me, ha, what, hoo-ha. Gonna camp hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Hoo-ha, 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 hoo-ha.
That's 2 minutes. You were right. That's funny.